Hello everybody, my name is Raj Wadhwani and I'm the president of Contact Center World. Today we're going to be talking about awards, what it means to be an awards winner, a finalist in some awards, and what's next. This is especially important for those organizations and those people who are looking for a higher level of rewards and recognition. And I'm going to introduce you to the global stage and the opportunity to join the top 1%. And maybe also get certified as world class. So let me tell you a little bit about who we are firstly, so that you can get some idea about Contact Center World. ContactCenterWorld.com was established back in 1999. Today we have over 230,000 professional members in 200 countries. Going back to 2006, we wanted to launch a very unique awards and recognition program, very different than many of the things that you still see today. The program, called the Global Top Ranking Performers, is aimed at identifying the top 1% globally. It's often referred to as the Olympics of the contact center world because over 80 nations participate annually. And in the next few slides, we're going to talk about how you can be part of this unique club, this group, this unique opportunity to be in the top 1% of the industry. It's tough, it's challenging, it's a journey, but it's also immensely rewarding, not just in terms of an award, but also recognition, learning, meeting, networking, benchmarking against the best in the world. I'm often asked, Raj, why do leaders aspire to compete in the Global Top Ranking Performance Awards when there's so many others out there already? There's many reasons. You talk to individuals, you talk to the corporations, and you start combining all the different motivations behind participating in these, and you see a very clear pattern. The organizations and the people want to represent their nation. They want to be seen as the best in the country. They want to showcase their skills. They also want to compete against the best, not just average organizations. They want to compete against the best in the world. They want to learn from these other organizations and professionals what they're doing, what ideas they can bring back to their organization to make them look like superstars. It's all about benchmarking, not just pursuing their passion and achieving personal and corporate goals, but they also want to inspire others. They want to boost shareholder value, maybe win more business. And then couple that with the fact that this is the only truly global platform. It's unique. You're in a competition where it's all about friendship, it's all about fair competition, it's all about integrity and prestige. We're going to cover that over the next few slides because there's some very clear differences between these and some of the award programs you may have won in, or maybe competing in, or maybe thinking about. Another key benefit is that these awards can lead to certification as world class. That's a very unique thing, that we are the only association that will certify organizations as world class based on consistency, based on performing over a period of time and showcasing and sharing. That's the important part as well. It's not just about winning, but it also means that you're into sharing knowledge and wisdom and helping grow our industry. One of the first things I'm going to talk about is fairness. There's a lot of award programs out there, and when you start to dig deeper, if you pay attention, there's certain things that just are not fair. Let's talk about fairness from our perspective, what it means. It means a separation of award entrants by type. We don't ask small organizations to compete against massive ones. We don't ask in-house contact centers to compete against, say, BPO organizations. We also do not allow sponsors to compete. We never have. Back in 2006, we were asked by sponsors, hey, can we compete? Absolutely not. We do not allow the ability for judges to be influenced by any entrants. You see it on LinkedIn and other social media, people posting pictures and say, hey, I'm a judge in this award program. And that's before the winners have even been announced. They go out and tell everybody. What happens? Some of those judges get approached by individuals, and you never know what goes on behind the scenes, but we've heard some interesting stories. Also, no judges visit you. There's a big problem out there where judges go and visit contact centers, and we'll cover that a little bit later. There's no behind the closed door voting, a small panel of people chatting about you and making decisions. I mentioned no judge is allowed to tell anybody. There's no gifts, incentives, or rewards given to judges, and there's full transparency at every single step. Fairness in the entry process also means that we don't put restrictions on you. There are some programs out there where they say you have 500 words to write your entry. I am sorry, but if you operate a contact center, you know that there's a lot more that goes on in your organization than just 500 words. Sure, you can employ, and some people do, they employ really good copywriters to write a nice story. But we all know contact centers are built on numbers, facts, figures, statistics, performance metrics. So we have no restriction. We also allow organizations to upload data, to upload information like PDFs, documents, photos, even videos. But we also make sure that you're not allowed to say who you are. And that's another important factor in the whole process, that judges should not know who you are. They should judge you for what you do. When we launched our program back in 2006, we said, look, we got to start off by looking at the different types of competitors we have. You cannot put a 50,000 seater contact center against a 10-seat contact center and expect them both to compete for, say, best new contact center. It doesn't work. Different metrics, different performance. You know what happens in a small contact center when you lose a few people due to sickness. Well, if you lose the same number of people in a massive contact center with tens of thousands of agents, it's going to have little effect. But in a small contact center, it does. So the way that these organizations are run are very different. Grouping them all together just doesn't work. Also, I mentioned this a few moments ago. When you enter the award program, we do not allow you to enter any information that gives away who you are. In your entry form, there's no reference to your company name, your brand names, individual names, nothing. They're also judged by judges in a completely different part of the world. So if you're, say, competing from the United Kingdom, you're judged by people in Asia Pacific or the Americas. If you're entering and you are in, say, America, your entries are judged by people in Europe and Asia. We distance the judges from the entrants as much as possible to make sure there's no bias. In some categories, we ask for a lot of data. Why? Because we don't want to send in a judge who sits down with you, who might also sit down with other entrants and get bribed and wined and dined and all that, and give them the award when you really deserve it, because your metrics, everything you're doing, all the information you're providing is amazing. So we ask you lots of questions. It helps judges get a really good view. And remember, they're judging you for what you do, not who you are. It's not about being smart and creative copywriters. It's about data, performance, resilience, consistency, etc. Here's a really interesting slide. Why no sponsors are allowed to compete. It doesn't matter how you try and spin this. If you have sponsors paying money to participate and they're also competitors, there is implicit bias. Sadly, too many award programs seem to disguise this and think we are stupid. We cannot see the fact that sponsors are also winning. If you are involved in any award programs, okay, please look at who are the sponsors. If you see sponsors also competing, that's a clear indication there's going to be implicit bias in the award program, no matter what the award organizers tell you. We've never allowed sponsors to compete, and I'm going to show you some slides in just a moment that will illustrate some of the challenges of allowing sponsors. We polled around 200 leaders all over the world on LinkedIn and also on Contact Center World website, and we asked them one question, a very simple question. If you see sponsors competing in an awards program, do you believe it's okay, or do you believe there's a conflict of interest and a question over the integrity of the program? The results are clear. 90% of those people who responded said there's definitely a conflict of interest. And of those, 92% of them went on to add that there's definitely a question about the integrity of the award program. Yet in some awards, entrants seem to turn a blind eye to it, or they're not aware when it's too late. Now here is a real life example of an award program. In this particular program, we've blocked out the sponsor name. A very well respected organization. They're competing, or were competing, in 16 out of 31 categories, over 50%. And in one category alone, they were competing 3 times, as you can see on the image on the bottom right hand corner. 3 times against 3 other organizations. Now, this is blatant conflict of interest. This is public information. It's not stuff that we put together. This is public information that is out there in the domain. And we also saw recently that this particular sponsor also won, I think, 6 or 7 of these awards that they competed for. What about all the other competitors who looked at this and thought, that's not fair. I wonder why they won it. That's going to bring us on to transparency in a moment. Transparency of the process. But just to conclude with sponsors, we do not allow sponsors to compete. It's all about integrity. Integrity is in our DNA. We don't want sponsors to influence or have any involvement in the awards program apart from being sponsors. Yes, we love sponsors. You can come and be a sponsor, but you cannot compete. You get no involvement in the judging process. You can sponsor this, meet and network, and win business with the best in the world. If you're interested, let us know. Now let's be real. Judges are human beings. As human beings, we always have favorites. We always have some level of bias against products and services that we use and experience. That's one of the reasons why at this level, we want to make sure judges do not know who the entrants are, because otherwise there's going to be bias, and there's going to be bias that could be favorable for some and negative against others. That's also another reason why entrants are not allowed to influence judges, and also entrants and judges are on different continents. It's really important to make sure that we maintain that separation, to maintain the integrity and eliminate bias. Bias also applies when you have judges visiting centers. There's a lot of organizations out there who get a couple of judges, they send them out to see 1 or 2 of the contact centers, and there is going to be some level of buttering up judges, maybe wine, dine them, give them some gifts, incentives. We see it all the time. We see posts on LinkedIn and other social media where a judge says, hey, went to see so-and-so, had a fantastic time. Influence like that needs to be avoided. We do not allow judges and entrants to mix at this level. It's really important that judges are kept separate away from entrants. Also, judges should have the relevant knowledge and experience behind them. We do not allow judges from companies who sell technology, for example, unless that judge has also had a minimum number of years working in a contact center or customer experience operation. Here's an example of what we see online from other programs out there. A couple of judges visiting a contact center, and afterwards a note on LinkedIn talking about touch of charm, signature Greek hospitality, delightful high tea experience. Forgive me, but this is blatant trying to influence the judging process. We do not know what else goes on behind the scenes in these organizations. We do not know if they're given gifts, incentives, if they're perhaps presented with any other types of rewards or anything else goes on behind the scenes. It's bad. It's not acceptable. And again, no matter what judges might say, oh yeah, we're not going to be influenced, we're not going to accept this or that. Here's an example where it's so obvious that the entrant is doing everything in their power to try and influence judging. So the conclusion to draw about judging and why we do things different: no judges should ever go and visit an entrant. We actually bring all the entrants to the judges, and I'll talk about that in just a moment, because again, it's a very different process. We also want to make sure that judges do not know entrants and vice versa. And we have about 150 judges in our program. They're banned from accepting any gifts, banned from going out there and publicly saying they're judges until every single award has been given out. Again, another reason that we run our awards this way, it's all about transparency. It's all about making sure that every entrant can see every competitor. That actually means that everybody's learning. You can see the results. Everybody gets to see how everybody else performed. They get benchmarking data. They also can see and understand, yeah, we didn't win, but those guys were better. Or we did win, we were the best out of the bunch because we saw the others. Transparency is so critical in award programs, sadly lacking in many. But in ours, I'm going to show you how we actually ensure transparency. And just to put it in perspective in terms of things that we will all appreciate and understand. Here's an Olympic athlete. He's at the starting line, just about to run the 400 meters. He looks around, there's two judges. No spectators, no other competitors. And he's told, just do your best and we'll judge you. And he's told, when he asks, well, where's the other competition, to trust the judges, that they know best. They're just going to measure him and compare it to everybody else. At a later date, this athlete hears he's a runner-up. He was not good enough to basically win. But there's no visibility in the process. Can you imagine the outrage in sports if every single race was like this? If the Olympics was like this, where everything is done behind closed doors, no competitor gets to see anything else, in where there's, individual sports like this, the shot put, the javelin, the 100 meters, the marathon. Imagine trying to run a marathon and you can't see anybody else and you don't know how you did until you get to the end. This is the way many award programs are sadly run. You don't need to accept it. In our program, it's all about transparency. You get to see every single competitor. You learn from them. You network with them. You're becoming buddies and benchmarking their performance against yours. You know why you won. I mentioned earlier as well that there's no behind the doors, closed voting or anything else. It's all about transparency. Let's be honest, okay? Human nature is there's always going to be those out there. They might be in the minority, but there's always going to be out there some of those people who are hungry for power. And to them, power means we got to win that award. We're going to do everything at all costs. And I've been approached by people who have said, come up to me and said, hey, we have to win this. Our company expects us to get gold. We have zero influence and we will never, ever take any bribe or do anything. Everything is visible. It's transparent. So when it comes to announcing who the winners are, everybody knows. We don't get questions on it. Everybody knows what is going on because the process is visible. And I mentioned we don't go and see you, we bring you to the judges. In some of our events, we have 200 judges, not 2 or 3. Every single judge score is checked. We look for relationships, bias, and eliminate anything that is potentially bad. It says at the bottom here, our chair of judges also reviews every score to ensure it's fair, and if any judge is found to be biased, they are banned. I have that position as the chair. I look at every single entry, every single judge vote. To me, integrity is everything. And yes, I've banned judges. Yes, I've warned judges. But it rarely happens in our program because we have such a transparent program. People can see why they won, why they came second, or maybe why they lost. And they can learn from it. They get really good data afterwards. They get comments, they get charts, statistics on every single aspect of what they're doing. And of course, they get access to all the videos from every single presentation. So they can take that back and they can look at what else they could be doing to improve their business. In this clip, I'm going to share with you the judging process at our recent event and what makes it a little bit different. I'm just going to play it for you and then we'll move on.
Hi everybody, here I am in Greece, home of the Olympics. We are here to judge the best in the world, the best contact center and customer experience professionals, organizations in the world. And I'm going to show you exactly how we do our judging, because unlike almost any other award program out there, we have a very unique process. We have judges watching remotely around the world. And in the room next door, we're going to go and have a look at in a minute, we have judges from all over the world watching live presentations. It's very unique. Let's go and take a closer look. We've got to be quiet though. Shh.
Of course, with the top management sharing session, we can get that.
Come with me. I'm going to give you a quick secret. Tell you a quick secret. So, everyone's at break right now. I did a quick calculation of the total experience of all the judges in this room and the ones watching online. The ones who are determining the best in the world. The total number of years of our judges in this event is 968 years. That's what sets this whole program apart from any other out there. It's not 1 or 2 judges, 968 years. So please consider entering the Global Top Ranking Performance Awards and be judged by the best in the industry.
So in that video, as I mentioned, 968 years. Even if you get 2 really experienced judges who go and visit your center, A, there's no guarantee that they're going to be using the same criteria as 2 judges go and visiting another center. B, how many years experience might they have in total? Best case scenario, they've both been in the industry like me, 35 years. So that's 70 years. Compare that to 968. Compare that to the fact that we also eliminate rogue judging or anything that looks suspicious. It's all about integrity. Just touching a little bit on national awards. We love awards. Don't get me wrong, okay? We love award programs. We are very happy to work with any associations who run national awards. Why? Because we want to raise the bar. We can bring in international judges from all over the world. We want to make sure that everything is done to a very high standard, so that if you're competing in national awards, there is an opportunity to get national recognition, but to a highest standard possible. So if you do run national awards out there and you're watching this or you participate, talk to the organizers and say, hey guys, have you thought about partnering with Contact Center World? They can bring an added dimension to the whole award program. I want to talk about something else that we see happening quite a lot these days. In some award programs, it seems every single entrant is a finalist. We saw on one award program that we touched on a little bit earlier that they had in some categories 12 finalists, 12 for just one award. That begs the question, are they just saying everybody is a finalist because they've made the awards program into a commercial entity? The more finalists they get, the more people they've got buying tables at an awards dinner, means more revenue for the association. We limit the number of finalists to maximum 4 or 5. We want to make it fair. We want everybody to have a chance. When you compete against 12 other organizations and you don't get to see them, you don't understand what they're doing, there's no visibility, it begs the question about really the integrity of the process. Do you want to be involved in a program where you are definitely shortlisted to 4 or 5 and you've got a fighting chance? Or are you happy just to compete in a program where there's a dozen other competitors, you don't know why they're there, you don't know why you lost, you don't know what the judging process is on each of those, very limited visibility. As we're coming to the end of this presentation, I just want to share with you some of the posts recently on LinkedIn, because this is a testament to what other people say about our award programs. Here's just a few of them. There's many, many more out there. If you spend a few minutes just reading all of these, you'll actually see a very consistent theme. There is basically integrity, transparency, fairness built into the program. And you can see who actually mentioned these. You can see the organizations that they represent. You can go and find these people easily on LinkedIn and ask them more questions. Everything we do at Contact Center World is about integrity, fairness, equal opportunity for everybody, transparency, and this is what we believe in makes this the most unique, the most highly treasured and prized industry award program out there. And a few other opportunities for those of you who are interested in being certified world class. We are the organization to go to. You can't be certified world class in your first year of participation. We're looking for consistency, that you can consistently perform at the highest level. And we have world-class certification for contact centers, for customer experience, for loyalty programs, for help desks, for leaders, and many of the other professional levels within the contact center industry. Another byproduct, a key benefit of our program is you get access to benchmarking data. You can go online after the event and you get access to charts and statistics from the top 1% in the industry. These are the organizations you want to look at and compare yourself with. Too many other benchmarking reports out there. Basically, they take the average of all the people who participate. You could get a world-class organization at one end to an organization that's just doing absolutely terrible with their contact center, but they've put in their data because they want to get access to all the other data. In our awards program, you know we have the top 1%. That gives you the opportunity of getting access to data from the top 1%. and looking at comparisons on performance metrics and much more. Lastly, we talked about a community earlier on. Just like the Olympics and Formula One and other high-level competitions, there is an active community. We build and bring together the best in the world. A family where fairness prevails, integrity is paramount. It's built in our DNA. When you participate in our awards programs and you come along and you are a finalist, you share, you learn from each other, you benchmark, you also become part of that community. You get to meet people that you wouldn't otherwise see. You get to learn from them. You get to benchmark. They will have ideas, information on things that maybe you haven't even considered yet or you're looking at today. You and them will share knowledge, experience, and be part of a global contact center world family. We'll also put your photos or your award wins on our website. Take the example here of Teleperformance. They've won over 100 awards from Contact Center World, from as far away as Brazil to Malaysia, Indonesia, to Europe, all over the world. So if you are interested in a high level of awards, being part of the top 1%, this is the program to aspire to. So in conclusion, are you ready to compete at the next level, to represent your nation, to join the top 1%? If you are, the 21st Global Top Ranking Performance Awards are open. The website's in front of you. We're here to help and support you. That's another thing that we do. We're not just going to leave you alone to participate. We're here to help guide you, give you the best opportunity of showcasing your talent, your skills, your knowledge, experience, and hopefully join the top 1% in the contact center world. Thank you for watching this. I hope you found it of value. My name again is Raj Wadhwani, and I look forward to hosting you in one of our award programs.